Well, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has threatened protests in Southwest Nigerian tertiary institutions lacking functional student union, calling the ban on such activities detrimental to students' welfare. Speaking in Osogbo, NANS Southwest Zone D Coordinator Owolewa Taiwo criticized the absence of unions in schools like Federal Polytechnic Ede, Osun State Polytechnic Iree, LAUTECH and UNILAG. He stated that NANS has issued a 14-day ultimatum to these institutions, demanding reinstatement of student union or face mass protests aimed at disrupting academic activities. Additionally, Taiwo addressed the exclusion of private institution students from NELFIN. Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the exclusion of private institutions. But let's talk about the student unionism first off. NANS threatening protest or ban on student unionism in some of these southwestern universities.
Okay, student unionism is more like the voice for the students. And of course, I would not know why those unions have been banned in those various universities that were stated. But that's wrong, because if you take off the student unionism, you take off the voice of the students.
Okay.
The VC and his cabinet do not have all the time, the luxury of time, to probably look at all the issues going on in the university system. So the student union government is supposed to be a government that liaises between the students and the university. So if you take them out, then that is wrong. I would join my voice with NANS to say you should install a functional student union government in those universities. But let's come to the other side of the coin. You know, I like to look at two sides of the coin. The other side of the coin, what could be the possible reason for banning student unionism in these varsities? They didn't mention such, but I want to think that student unionism is missing, they are missing that role they were called to play. They are leaving it for a more tedious role, getting involved in secular politics. Student union governments are supposed to be apolitical, no party bias, no support for any party. Students are supposed to have that level, that they're like traditional institutions. They're not supposed to be partisan. But what we get now is that student unionism is totally like a mobilization group for even the political parties. That's one. Two.
But why do you think they're beginning to toe that part?
Because they're looking for greener pastures.
So are you saying students' union presidents and executives back then, when they were still in line with the provisions of the student unionism, were not looking for greener pastures?
Let me tell you, back then, student unionism was more of the comrade thing, advocacy, fighting for the interests of the students. It's not that anymore. Today, I frown when I see some certain things. I was speaking to some student union government, I think in some universities around, where I was called to come and talk. And I said, this thing people are doing now is not student unionism. It's nonsense.
We get that a lot.
It's nonsense, because at the end of the day, I see the video of a student union leader carrying hillocks and escort. And I'm like, but yeah, bro, you're not even a... You're not even a local government chairman. And you're already interested in this level of
and that's
power.
why I'm asking why the misdirection? Because you're not the first person I'm hearing saying this. Some people still have the same thought that you have, that the students' union are no longer fighting for the students. Yes, and that's why I'm asking what happened. What changed the narrative? All of a sudden, you said greener pastures. What happened back then? Does it mean they were not looking for greener pastures?
Nigeria was better
or
then.
They didn't need greener pastures?
Nigeria was better then. Nigeria keeps getting worse. Nigeria was better then. That's the truth. But you can't compare when you're buying.
When you say Nigeria keeps keeps getting worse, you need to talk about the particular aspect, because there are aspects of Nigeria that keeps getting beautiful.
Where is it?
Technology.
That is not honest.
We still have.
That is not honest. Nigeria keeps getting worse.
I am not struggling to say the things that are good in Nigeria. No.
You are not, okay.
I'm not.
You are not struggling to say it. I mentioned two.
Because I just did.
Technology and
even though the question is not supposed to be coming from that end, but I had to help you understand that we have beautiful aspects of Nigeria. But
we are beautiful people in Nigeria. That is the
even the human resources.
Well, that's the
only
beautiful thing.
It doesn't mean we've not had amazing minds all the while.
That's the only beautiful thing that keeps
technology, if you say that the company and the country now has not implemented some of these technological advancements, but we have individuals who are doing so much when we talk about technology.
The only thing that keeps getting beautiful in Nigeria are the beautiful people who are very resilient.
Now you can continue.
But the aspects of governance I'm talking about.
Okay.
It gets worse by the day. You know, this morning when I got up, I was talking to myself. I said, we have sold the wrong narrative of success. I tell you, people are under pressure to meet up to what competition? What competition are you trying to meet up with?
No matter the age now, even children.
Regardless of the age, teenagers, have you not heard cases of teenagers killing their girlfriends? What are you even doing with a girlfriend at 17 and 16? They are killing the girl. And then somebody for a girl to be your girlfriend, she has trusted you. A level of trust has come in for her to come to your house and sleep in your house. And then you kill her because you want to get rich quick. So, we've changed. The narrative of success we have sold in Nigeria is so sad. Everybody is trying to succeed at all costs. And that's what is happening to the student union government. Oh boy, now I'm here. Let me chop this in now. I might not know what will happen tomorrow morning. So let me amass this thing. A student union government president has houses from student unionism. He's driving mobile police is following a student union. What are you saying? The mobile police officer will open the door for the student union government president. He will come down. A student union president government. God, it's crazy. Because we have sold a narrative that if you do not use mobile escorts, you are not successful. If you don't rise to a certain realm of power, you are not successful. Meanwhile, in the days of our grandfathers, you realize that a mechanic was very, very successful mechanic and very content with what he had. He would take care of his family. Was it Okadibo? Not Okadibo, it's not Okadibo. There was one very prominent man from the East who was giving his narrative. He said, I remember when our father was a senator of the Second Republic. Ourselves and our father's driver, his children were going to same school. Guy, it can't happen now. That's your father's driver. And you are going to the same. Where?
Remember when we're talking about the minimum wage increase, where we had some National Assembly members saying that they cannot pay their driver that amount. You know, that what you just said took my mind back to what happened then. But since you have mentioned what you think is the challenge with student unionism, let's talk about the way forward.
The way forward.
How can we change this narrative you said we've changed? How can we change it back to what it's supposed to be?
If you agree with me, I'll tell you it's a lofty project. You know, I'm one person that believes in orientation and reorientation. The orientation is sour. That's the first thing we must note. The mindset is gone. It's gone. The student union government wants to meet governor, wants to meet president, wants to go to every political office. And these people are going to use you as a tool to a means. Yes. They'll use you as a tool to achieve their own aim. Most of these aims are clandestine. So at the end of the day, orientation and reorientation has to take place. That's Nigeria's problem. Basically, if you can give people the right orientation, you will salvage Nigeria at least to a large percent. If the right orientation can make Nigeria work.
I think it should even start from the top. Because some of our leaders, when we talk about election, you know what happens in the process. And if you're saying that some of the student union governments, student union presidents and executives are now getting involved in politics, it means they are now getting exposed to what is going on in our political system in Nigeria.
They're already there. Which
they probably are taking back to the schools now. And that's why when it's time for elections, some of the things that...
Not even probably. If you see student union government election now, you will cry. They are ready to carry guns. In student union government election? So when you now eventually become a gubernatorial candidate, what will you do? You will kill us.
That's why I'm asking what should be done now before we move to the next story. You talked about orientation. Coming from
First
who now?
thing is orientation.
Coming from who now?
Orientation, we have a national orientation agency. Are they doing their job? Yeah, if they are doing their job. If they are doing their job, we will not have a lot of issues.
They've been in the news recently.
Recently. There are agencies that should be everywhere. Let me tell you, orientation is not the news. Orientation is, I walk on the street, I see the word there. Street corners. I went to one of these places abroad. A university has a book garden. They use the chairs, you know the way we have love gardens and all these things in our schools. The chairs are done like books. So it's like a book, an open book, you sit down, a very lovely chair, and then you're expected to just see books around in the garden. You just see a chair made with book, a long book, it's opened, the chairs are molded that way. They are not going to just announce on the news during maybe year one orientation day or whatever, say students should read. They are creating a reading culture. Okay. In their mental, see, the mind peaks.
Okay, so let's look at the other part of the story now quickly, talking about excluding private institutions from the NEL fund loans.
There's a Nigerian part of me that just laughed. The Nigerian part of me that laughed is that when somebody goes to a private university, practically, the notion is sent that you are from a rich home. I don't know if you agree with me. Generally, once you just say, I went to Covenant University, everybody say, when I get money, see big boy, money.
But then, how do you expect? You know, just like you said earlier, that this struggling parent sending her children to school.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
So some of these children,
I have friends who were like that.
Some of the students in private universities, they're in school because of the loan their parents collected for them to be in school. A lot. So excluding them, do you think it's the right thing?
That's the Nigerian
Nigerians.
The Nigerian part of me is done laughing. Let me face the reality now.
Yes, welcome to reality.
Let's face the reality is that there should be modalities for accessing this loan. If you want this loan, we should see your bank statement. It should be part of it. Your bank statement and the volume of turnover that runs through your account should help us know
that you need
this thing or not. The people that need this thing should get it. Because it's like when you say indigenous people who are suffering should get access to scholarships, and then the commissioners put their children there. The big men put their children. They say, we're all Nigerians now. We're all Nigerians. No. There are people that need these things. There are people that when it comes to them, it's hallelujah. There are people that when they see these things, it's just like waste of effort. But there are people that when this thing comes to them, the appreciation is there. It's a testimony for them. They go to church. They say, oh, God, thank you. I just got access to the student loan and my years in the university is covered.
Okay.
So strict modalities should be put in place. The essence of a structure like that, a student union loan like that, is aimed at helping those who are not able to meet up. It's not aimed at helping everybody.
Okay.
The target is to help those who are not able to meet up. And if you make it general for everybody in that sense, then it's the aim is defeated.
All
so
right.
I feel they should have a more strict measure of accepting whether you are from the
I don't
private
know what could
university.
be stricter than what we already have.
Which
Because
is what?
a lot of students are complaining that they've not been able to access these loans.
What's the
Some of them
about?
feel like the websites that are even provided are not the websites, because they keep, according to them, they keep trying and trying and trying and trying.
Those are not strict measures. Those
Okay.
are malfunctions.
Okay.
The website is not working is a malfunction, not a strict measure. A strict measure is before you assess this loan, let us see your guidance bank statement.
All right.
That's a strict
All
measure.
right.